This story was submitted by Brett. I'm a 16-year-old male, and I work at my local hardware store. My main job at this hardware store is to gather carts in the parking lot and put stuff away, etc. Around 8 months ago, I was scheduled to close. When I close, I have a list of stuff I have to do. Gather trash, sweep the bathroom, and look for the abandoned carts throughout the store after everyone else has left. By closing time, I was worn out and just wanted to go home. I had finished everything except gathering any carts left in the store. I began quickly walking around the store, trying to get this done so I could go home. Halfway through checking the store, I came to the patio furniture displays. As I scanned the area for carts, I saw something that caught my eye. It was a person. They were sitting in a dimly lit area in a chair. I walked over to the person to tell them that they needed to leave because we were closed. As I approached the person, I got a better look at their appearance. It was an older man. He had gray hair, a dirty face, and dirty clothes. He was just staring with these cold eyes at nothing. I was a little uneasy at the sight of him, but I just wanted to go home, so I approached him and said, "I'm sorry, sir, but you're gonna have to leave. We're closed." He looked up at me and smiled an absolutely terrifying smile. He then began laughing like a madman and leapt out of his chair at me. I threw my arms up to protect my face, and he grabbed onto my arms and dug his long, sharp nails into my arms. I yelped in pain as I struggled to shake this crazy bastard from me. Luckily, another employee was nearby and heard the laughter and my cry for help. He came running around the corner and pried the old man off of me, throwing him back. The old man stared right at me and pointed with his index finger, now covered in my blood, and said, "See you soon," and took off towards the door. I got up to follow him, yelling to the other employees to stop him. To my amazement, this old man could run. He sprinted out the door and into the darkness. The police were called, and I was asked a few questions, and was examined for any diseases this guy could have given me. Luckily, I was clean. The store gave me a week of paid vacation to recover, and my parents bought me a pocket knife to carry. The reason they did this was because of what the man said. I feared for my life for months, terrified he was going to come back. I always watched my back, but I didn't see him again until 3 months ago. I was working another closing shift and was outside grabbing the last few carts. As I began to head back inside with the carts, I saw a figure standing across the lot. I stared at it for what seemed like forever. Then my blood went cold. The figure began sprinting, not running, sprinting at me. I took out my knife, ready to confront this figure, when I realized who it was. The old man. I panicked and took off running into the store, screaming for my life. I ran through the doors with the old man right on my trail. As I ran inside, a few of the employees were standing there, and after the man came running in, they tackled him and pinned him to the ground. The police arrived shortly after and took him away. Later that week, they told me something I will never forget. This man had been wanted for 7 counts of rape and 1 account of attempted kidnapping. They went to his home and found pictures of teens all over his walls in his basement. Several of the pictures were of my coworkers and me. One of them was of me driving my car. This sick fuck had stalked me. He was declared insane in court and currently rots in some mental asylum across the country, far away from me. I still work at the hardware store, but I told my manager that I never want to work past 7 ever again, and she agreed with zero hesitation. I have since moved on from the incident, but I still always keep my eyes peeled when I'm out at night. This story was submitted by Krista. I'm a 16-year-old female, and I work at a small restaurant in California. My job is quite a ways from my house, about an hour walk. I always request morning shifts, but if I do have to do a closing shift, I always make sure to get picked up, usually by my friend, but occasionally my mom. One night, to my annoyance, I got a closing shift, meaning I had to sweep and mop the floor, refill the napkins and the toilet paper, etc. I am also the only one in the front, since everyone is in the back working on the food. We have windows all around the building, and I see this guy with a long black unkept beard. It was a little hard to see his clothes, but it looked as though he was dressed all in black. He walked slowly around the building, not taking his eyes off of me. I kept mopping and pretended to ignore him, hoping he would just go away. About 10 minutes pass, and I notice he's finally left. By that time, I'm done with my shift, so I clock out and walk outside to wait on the bench to get picked up. I call my mom to make sure she remembered she was picking me up, which she didn't. She tells me she's at her boyfriend's house, and tells me to call my friend who usually picks me up. I always give my friend a day notice when I want her to pick me up, otherwise she will be sleeping. I didn't have the heart to wake her up and ask her to pick me up, so I decided to walk home. I called my mom and left a message on her phone to tell her that I would be walking home. Then I started my journey. Luckily for me, my paranoia has led me to always carry pepper spray everywhere I go. About 20 minutes into my walk, I, being stupid, had my headphones in blaring music when I felt a tap on my shoulder. Scared, I turned around and was about to say, "What do you want?" But as soon as I saw that long black beard, I didn't make a sound. I just looked up at him and started backing away. He broke the silence by asking me if I would like my pussy fucked with his 8-inch dick. I was trying to joke it off by giving a nervous laugh and saying no thank you, and right when I was about to walk away, he unzipped his pants to reveal his penis. He started stroking it and walking closer to me saying, "If you suck my dick, I won't hurt you." I was so scared I actually thought about my options. Either do what he says and maybe get away, or pepper spray him and run as fast as I could. Obviously, I quickly unlatched my spray and sprayed him directly in the eyes, and ran as fast as I could. I kept running until I found a store that was open, a liquor store. I ran inside and started screaming for someone to lock the door and call the cops. A man came out and asked me what was wrong, and I told him everything. They called the cops, and after they showed up, I told them what happened. One cop drove me home, while the other I assumed went to look for the man. 2 days later, my mom got a call from the authorities saying they looked for the man, but they couldn't find him. It's safe to say that I won't walk home any time in the night ever again. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And that is smash that like button right now. You pause this video and you smash that like button, or you smash the like button while you continue to watch this video. But either way, make sure you hit that like button. If you hit the dislike button, I'm not going to be too happy, but I'm going to have to accept it, okay? Thank you. Now, before I get started into my thoughts on the stories, I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone submitting their stories. And if you would like a chance to have your story featured in a video, make sure you check out the description to see how to do so. Now, for the first story. Thankfully, they actually caught the guy. It's just unfortunate that it had to be after he'd already hurt some people, but better late than never. I'm glad you were able to get out of the situation okay, and not have to worry about him being close by. I can completely understand why you wouldn't want to work the late shift again. I'm very happy you didn't catch anything from that guy's nails, because who knows what you could have contracted. Now for the second story. That is why I tell almost everyone to carry mace. You are the perfect example on something that could have went horribly wrong, but because you were smart enough to carry protection, you were able to make sure you were safe. This story is an awesome example on why you always carry personal protection. Even my wife walks around with mace, for instances like this. Things like this don't happen all the time, but that one time that it does happen, you would absolutely want protection. Otherwise, you're just giving the other person the upper hand. Hopefully someday they catch the guy, because I'm sure he's going to try something again with someone else. But at least you got out of the situation without harm. I hope you all have a great day, and once again, if you would like to submit your own story, make sure you check out the description. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and just remember, it's always scarier if it's true.